Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. On behalf of the Newsfirst, the voice of the people, I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Opposition and the public take to the streets before the no-confidence motion against Minister Gammampilla is debated in Parliament. Andhra Kumar Dissanayaka's questions on Kiravalapitiya power plant turned down.
අද මම මේක අහලා හෙට ඇහුවයි කියලා ඔය ගිවිසුම අවලංගු කරන්න නැති බවත් මම දන්නවා.
විපක්ෂයට විශ්වාසභංග යෝජනාවට වඩා දැන් මේ වෙන කාරණයක් ලොකු වෙලා.
Deadline for Grade 1 applications extended to the 7th of August. A-level exam scheduled for the 15th of November, Grade 5 scholarship exam on the 14th. Spyware sold to governments to target activists.
On to your top story this afternoon. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana stated that 70,200 doses of the US-manufactured Pfizer vaccine arrived in the island today. This is the third batch of Pfizer vaccine that was brought down to the island. The consignment arrived in Sri Lanka this morning on a Qatar Airways flight. Sri Lanka has received the Pfizer vaccine on 2 previous occasions. The total stock of Pfizer vaccines in the country is 123,000. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana said that all these doses are planned to be distributed to the people of the Mannar district. The consignment was brought to the Narahimpeta Blood Transfusion Centre to be stored at a temperature of minus 70 degrees Celsius. The COVID-19 inoculation program continued today as well.
People were inoculated with the Moderna vaccine in 7 centres in Udalapata, Gampola and Doluwa MOH divisions. Up to now, 4,449,546 were inoculated with the first dose with the Sinopharm vaccine, while 1,267,725 people have received the second dose. 157,368 people were inoculated with the Sputnik vaccine, while 14,464 were inoculated with its second dose. 952,242 people have received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, while 365,885 have received the second dose. 46,753 people were inoculated with the Pfizer vaccine.
The Samagi Jana Balawege staged a protest this morning at the parliamentary roundabout against Minister Uday Gammampilla and the entire government over the fuel price hike.
The protest, led by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, was attended by many representatives of the party and leaders of parties affiliated to the SJB. The protesters marched to the entrance of the parliamentary premises.
We would like to first thank the public who took to the streets with the Samagi Jana Balawege at this moment when we have taken the first step in sending this government home. Today and tomorrow we will be able to see something special. There are 225 members in parliament. We will be able to see who the patriots are and who the traitors are. Instead of giving the people a fiscal stimulus package, the government left the people of the country helpless. We have begun the journey of sending this government home. As the first step, this will be a litmus test. You will be able to see who are for the increase in fuel prices and who are against it. I would like to make a request from all factions to pass this motion of no confidence against Minister Gammampilla and take the first step in sending this government home.
The deadline to submit application for grade 1 students has been extended till the 7th of August. At a media briefing held this morning, Minister of Education Professor G.L. Piris announced the dates for the grade 5 scholarship examination and the GCE advanced level examination.
The advanced level examination will be held from Monday, the 15th of November until Friday, the 10th of December. We need 22 days to hold the exam. The grade 5 scholarship exam will be held on Sunday, the 14th of November. The deadline to submit grade 1 applications has been extended to Saturday, the 7th of August. The previous deadline was on the 31st of July, but under the current circumstances, we have decided to extend that by a week. So we will accept these applications until the 7th of August.
Leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, said that steps must be taken immediately over the violation of privileges of parliamentarians.
As I told you, the failure to notify the House on an arrest of a member of Parliament and the failure to notify Parliament on the need to question an MP already appearing before a Presidential Commission of Inquiry. These are violations of the privilege of the House, not only of the members. The Honourable Harin Fernando is a very vocal critic of the government in this House. The police attempted to interrogate him on a statement made by his father, which was already examined by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, and thereafter take him into custody. This was prevented by an order of the Supreme Court. A similar issue has come up in connection with Honourable Rishad Baduddin, a violation of the need for notification. But I'd also like to request that you take this matter up and we can also refer it to the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and the International Parliamentary Union.
The Honourable Wickremesinghe, when he was the Prime Minister, by violating the Constitution, he has formed the FCID. When he was the Prime Minister, by violating the Constitution, he had formed the Dushana Mardana Ekaka. And I must ask whether he has already read the Erskine May at that time. So the thing is this, I think එයාට කිසිම සදාචාරාත්මක අයිතියක් නැහැ.
He has no moral right to speak about parliamentarians' rights. Regarding Rishad Baduddin, he was arrested not because he was a parliamentarian, but because he was involved in certain incidents. Those matters have been forwarded to the Attorney General. There were no preparations to arrest Harin Fernando. He said that he knows who the mastermind is. If he knows who the mastermind is, he has a duty to inform the Criminal Investigations Department.
Now, ඔහු කිව්වා මහමලු කරුවෝ දන්නවයි කියලා. මහමලු කරුවෝ දන්නව නම් ජාතික ආරක්ෂාව දෙසා ඔහුගේ යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට ඇවිල්ලා පැනවල් කරන්න. ඒක කියන්නේ නැත්නම් කවන්නේ.
හරි. ඔව්. ඔව් විපක්ෂ නැහැ.
යන්නේ මල්ලේ පොල්.
Parliamentarian Anura Kumara Disanayaka of the Jatika Jana Balawegaya was turned down when he attempted to raise a question regarding the agreement to sell stake of the Kerawalapitiya power plant at the Parliament.
27 දෙක ප්‍රශ්නය වෙන දින.
Both the ruling and opposition parties are requesting the 27-2 question to be taken up on a different date.
දෙකම.
Even the report today states that there are no questions on the motion of no confidence. We are requesting the Speaker to adhere to the standing orders with your agreement. Now, I'm not sure if the ruling and the opposition parties have agreed. If there is an agreement between the ruling party and the party represented by Sajid Premadasa, that is an agreement between them. If I am to be included, you need to have an agreement with me. The ruling party has not agreed with me on anything. I submitted this on Friday before 12 noon. How the staff here deals with that is no concern of mine. So allow me to raise this question. Why are you doing this?
මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න මට අවස්ථාව දෙන්න. ඔබතුමා මොකද්ද මෙහෙම කරන්නේ?
හෙට ගන්න.
ඒ මොකද්ද අද ගන්න බැරි ප්‍රශ්නේ? ඔබතුමා මේ පැත්ත බලන්න එපා. ජොන්ස්ටන් පනන්දු අපේ ආණ්ඩුකාරතුමාගේ පැත්ත බලනවා. කතා නායකතුමා මොකද කරන්නේ?
මම ඔබතුමා දිහා බලන්නේ.
නෑ මම අහන්නේ. නෑ මම දැක්කා එහෙම නෙවෙයි නම් කමක් නෑ කතා නෙවෙයි. නෑ ඒක ලොකු පැටලවිලක් නෙවෙයි. ඉතින් අද ප්‍රශ්න නෑ කතා නායකතුමනි.
අපේ නම් එහෙම එකක් නෑ බැලුවත් එකයි.
We are not bothered even if he looks at us or not. We can't exert influence like that. You know that. During the party leaders' meeting, we decide the proceedings for today and tomorrow, and it has been recorded that there are no questions. And also it was not decided by just us and the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. That is a decision reached by all party leaders. That is how we have allocated time for the debate.
නායකයෝ රැස් වෙලා ගත් තීරණයක් යනවා වෙලාව වෙන් කරගෙන තියෙනවා විවාදයට.
කෙසේ වුවත් කතා
I believe the Minister of Power and Energy is prepared to provide an answer. I believe that he is present here today to answer this question. So I would like to know.
එනිසා මම ඔබතුමාගෙන් දැනගන්න කැමතියි විදුලි බල අමාත්‍යතුමාත් කැමති නම්
ඔබතුමා සභානායකවරයාට දැන්විය යුතුයි.
මගේ ඉල්ලීම තියෙන කරු කතානායකතුමනි අදාළ
Honorable Speaker, my request is, if the subject minister is prepared to answer the question, and if there are no questions for today and tomorrow, it is appropriate if you can provide me the opportunity to raise my question today. But if you disagree with me and give me time tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, I know that even if I ask this question today or tomorrow, the government is not going to cancel the agreement. There might be preparations to stop discussing the sale of shares to the US.
ඔබතුමා යෝජනා කරා
You propose to provide the time to raise the question 27-2 tomorrow. Based on your decision, let us continue the proceedings today. Without any injustice towards the MP, tomorrow under the standing orders, we will answer the question tomorrow.
යටතේ අපි පිළිතුරු දෙනවා. හෙට විපක්ෂයට විශ්වාස
Have some other matters become more important than the no confidence motion? You fought hard to bring the no confidence motion. Don't you want it? Is that what you expect?
ඒකද බලාපොරොත්තුව.
ඔව් අනුකුමාර දිසානායකතුමා.
Do not mix up the no confidence motion and this question.
සභාංගයේ මේකයි කිසිසේත්ම පටල ගන්න එපා. මෙය
නෑ අපි හෙට මේ ප්‍රශ්නය ගනිමු.
The debate on the no confidence motion against Minister Udaya Gammanpilla was held in Parliament today.
When the people have been battered by the COVID-19 pandemic, he unjustifiably increased the prices of fuel and completely broke down the livelihoods of the people. That is the reason why he has to face this motion of no confidence. I would like to ask the Honourable MP, was it the Minister of Energy or the Minister of Finance who increased prices of fuel when your government was in power? Then I would like to ask you, was Sagar Karyavasam referring to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa as the person who is conspiring against the government? Is that the reason why he was removed from the finance ministry and Basil Rajapaksa brought to replace him? Also, I would like to ask the backbench MPs of the government, MP Sagar Karyavasam, Minister Dilu Mamunugama, and my friend from the Colombo district, MP Jagat Kumara, can you stand by what you said back then? Although you come to the media and give voice cuts in secret, you will have to raise your hands out in the open. We would like to state that if you raise your hands today, you raise your hands in favor of the fuel price hike that has destroyed the livelihoods of the people.
තෙල් මිල ඉහළ නංවල ජනතාවගේ ජන ජීවිතය කඩාකප්පල් කරාට පක්ෂපාතීත්වය දක්වමින් තමයි තමුන්නාන්සලා අද මේ අත උස්සන්න කියන එක අපි පැහැදිලිව කියන්නේ.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි යෝජනා.
Honorable Speaker, when a number is given for a proposal, the proposal is brought only when you call for it. Especially a motion of no confidence must be read. Take a look at the Hansard and see. That has always been the tradition. Secondly, if nothing like that has been read, such a proposal cannot be seconded. How can you second something without a motion to begin with?
යෝජනාවක් නැතුව ස්ථීර කරන්නේ කොහොමද?
කියවන්න යෝජනාව. කියවන්න යෝජනාව.
ඒක සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ 43ක ව්‍යවස්ථා ප්‍රකාර අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩලයේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ සාමූහික වක්කීම
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි මේ විවාදයේ ඇතුලේ.
Honorable Speaker, one parliamentarian cannot be allowed to speak twice during the debate. He has finished his speech. How can you allow him to make another address?
කරු කතානායකතුමනි විශ්වාසභංග යෝජනාවක් ගේන්න දන්නේ නැති අයට විරුද්ධව අපි ගේන්න ඕනේ.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි අපි විවාදයට සූදානම්. ඒකින්ද කරුණාකරලා කියවන්න ඉඩ දෙමු අපි.
හරි. හරි කොහොමද?
අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාට අපේ ස්තුතිය පුද කරනවා. කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
හරි මරිකල් මන්ත්‍රාව කියවන්න ඉක්මනට.
මම දැක්ක ආණ්ඩුව මේ මෝෂන් එක.
We saw a huge commotion in the government regarding this motion. Don't be scared. Don't panic. The General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Sagar Karyavasam, said that Minister Udaya Gammanpilla, who increased the price of fuel, must resign. This is what he said, to which Udaya Gammanpilla replied, saying that it was not him who increased it, it was the government. Moreover, he said that it was done due to the lack of dollar reserves. He said that the government is bankrupt without dollar reserves. He said that as well.
වැඩිකරේ මානෝයි ආණ්ඩුව කියලා එතුමා උත්තර දුන්නා. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි තෙල් මිල වැඩි කරේ වෙන මොකටවත් නෙවෙයි ඩොලර් නැහැ කියලා. හේතුව නිසා තමයි තෙල් මිල වැඩි කරේ කියලාත් එතුමා ප්‍රකාශයක් කරා. ඒතකොට ආණ්ඩුව බංකලොත් කියලා එතුමා එදා ඒක ප්‍රකාශ කරා ඩොලර් නැහැයි කියලා. එතකොට ඒකත් එතුමා කියලා තියෙන්නේ.
A protest was staged opposite the Ministry of Education by Association of Education Professionals and several other organizations over the issues that emerged regarding education and requesting solutions to the teachers' salary anomalies.
What we are telling the silent officials attached to the Ministry of Education and the Minister of Education is to wake up and please remove the teachers and principals' salary anomalies. Do justice for us and for the future generations of the country. If the government is not listening to our problem, even after we arrive in Isurupaya, from tomorrow we will stage a more severe trade union action.
Protests were staged in areas across the country today demanding for solutions to the salary anomalies of teachers. Representatives of all teachers' unions in the Kandy district joined the protest opposite the Torrington Park in Kandy.
Several protests were held in various parts of the country by political parties over the rising cost of living, fertilizer crisis and many other issues.
The National Federation of Tea Smallholders staged a protest at Ketanwila, Akurasa, demanding a solution to the fertilizer crisis.
Meanwhile, farmers of Gurugodal Madurigiriya staged a protest to highlight the risk of close to 800 acres of their paddy fields being flooded due to the construction of a new anicut in the area.
Farmers opposed the construction of the anicut, citing that if it was constructed, their paddy fields would be completely flooded during the rainy season. Protesters pointed out that about 400 farming families would be affected by this move. This bunt here that broke yesterday has been already repaired twice. Now the government wants to rebuild this again, but if this bunt is rebuilt, all the 800 acres behind us will be flooded. The neighboring villages will be flooded. Don't make these decisions while sitting in air-conditioned rooms. Come to the paddy fields and meet the farmers. We started this protest from the paddy fields. We requested the government to take actions to save our paddy fields before we bring this protest to the town. They are flooding lands to which we have permits and deeds. They have not conducted any feasibility studies and have not assessed as to how much of land will be flooded after this is built. Meanwhile, views were expressed by the National Federation of Small Tea Holders regarding the lack of fertilizer. We used to be one of the leading tea exporters in the world. Now we have slipped down to the 4th place. Everyone knows that the rulers of the country are responsible for this. When tea plants are adapted to chemical fertilizer, which had been used on these plants for the past 50 years, they suddenly stop the import of chemical fertilizer, covering behind the word chemical fertilizer. This is a conspiracy. The people must understand this conspiracy. Many governments want to destroy our tea industry. The countries that are competing with us want to bring down our tea industry. Other multinational companies competing with us in the world market wants the same.
The Gammadda Universe.
Motivating and empowering Sri Lankans. Gammadda Negitimu Sri Lanka. providing quality free-to-air education. The Gammadda Taksalava Education Centre, heralding the hope of the future. Voice of Gammadda, the movement achieving their goals. Gammadda V-Force, leading the way. Gammadda Savia, the image of Sri Lankan heritage. Gammadda Cultural Centre, fulfilling the spiritual void. Gammadda Damsavia, taking the image of our country and our sea to the world. The Gammadda Council on Foreign Affairs, the ancient hydraulic wonders of Sri Lanka. Gammadda Apevava, in search of the leaders of tomorrow. Gammadda International Leadership Council.
The Gammadda Universe.
Foreign media reports rights activists, journalists and lawyers around the world have been targeted with a phone malware sold to authoritarian governments by an Israeli surveillance firm.
They are on a list of up to 50,000 phone numbers of people believed to be of interest to clients of the company NSO, leaked to major news outlets. It is not clear where the list came from or whose phones had actually been hacked. NSO denies any wrongdoing. It says the software is intended for use against criminals and terrorists and is made available only to military, law enforcement and intelligence agencies from countries with good human rights records. In a statement, it said the original investigation, which led to the reports by Paris-based NGO Forbidden Stories and the human rights group Amnesty International, was full of wrong assumptions and uncorroborated theories.
A look back at your local news. The Colombo Ports Authority has taken into custody 4 Sri Lankans and a Chinese national.
The reason for the arrest was that the Chinese national had tried to take these people into the port without permission. It is being reported that the Chinese national is running a company that provides manpower for the Port City Expressway to be built across the harbour. These 4 people were identified as residents of Portugal and were not in possession of proper permits. The suspects are due to be produced before the Colombo Magistrates Court today, along with other relevant persons for attempting to enter the port without permission. The Coast Guard are conducting further investigations.
The more fluid we take, the less chances of stone formation. Is that so?
Suppose you take 4 or 5 liters a day, can be dangerous because that can increase the chance of making a stone.
Males seem to be more prone to developing stones rather than females.
Men work in an environment where you are subject to higher degree of dehydration.
Some stones, especially the smaller ones, have a tendency to pass spontaneously.
So if you have a 1 centimeter stone, there's absolutely no point waiting for it.
Kidney stones and how to treat them on Healthline this week, Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. on TV1.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst, the voice of the people, I am Martin Satyanesan. You take care and stay safe.